Happy Halloween, everyone. It's me, Emil, and today we're going to be talking about the Monster Mash. And I'm dressed up for Halloween. Can you tell what my costume is? Yep, it's Gonzo. Now here's me in my costume in a few fun poses. Now, Emil, you might be wondering, how is your Halloween special this year you talking about the Monster Mash? I thought when you did that giant reset of your channel, you were only going to talk about movies. And that's where you're wrong, my furry little friend. Because according to my TikTok influencer friend Regina Wasti, there was recently announced that there will be a Monster Mash movie based on the song. So this video isn't out of the normal. I'm talking about a movie. The movie just isn't out yet. We're building hype for the Monster Mash movie that'll come out whenever it's out. And we like that. We like that. I mean, I don't know. There's probably a Monster Mash short or movie that existed before. I just don't know what it is at this moment. See, look at that. There's a Monster Mash movie right there. But the point of today's video is that the lore of the Monster Mash is kind of complex and interesting. I mean, not really. I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen videos breaking this down before, but you've never seen me talk about it. So today I'm gonna go verse by verse talking about the meaning of every single verse in the Monster Mash. And you would be surprised what kind of lore implications some of these quotes have. Also, I did get the Jim Henson Monster cereals, if you're wondering. There's a Frankenberry one. I don't have Count Chocula here. Oh no, that's not good. And then I have the Blueberry right here. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I did end up finding Frankenberry. If you guys were watching on my TikTok of me going through like cereal psychosis. The Monster Mash begins with the verse, "I was working in the lab late one night, when my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise," and then it goes in the chorus and they start singing about the Monster Mash. This is the first verse of the song and already has some interesting implications. Here we find out that the singer of this song is a Dr. Frankenstein type character, due to the fact that he says he was working in the lab late one night. And he also has a monster, so he's probably a Dr. Frankenstein guy who's made a monster. Another interesting detail about this first verse is that the things that the monster is doing is surprising, but here's a little spoilers for like what's gonna happen next. Skip ahead if you don't want any spoilers for the Monster Mash. He claims that the dance the monster is doing is a surprise. And then in the events that follow, a bunch of ghouls and goblins show up and they all start doing the Monster Mash. Was this pre-planned by the monster? Did the Monster Mash summon all of these creatures? Or were they all already there and waiting for him like a surprise party? It also could be something to the fact of like they all live together in like a Hotel Transylvania type situation. I don't know, you be the judge of that for yourself. He did the mash. He did the Monster Mash. The Monster Mash, it was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. It caught on in a flash. He did the mash. He did the Monster Mash. And here is the famous chorus. Okay, so now we're about to get into some Ted the TV show territory, because this is where we're introduced to the Monster Mash, which is a dance. I think it's parodying the mashed potato, but it's also just a song about a dance, like Gangnam Style. Or Watch Me. Whip. Nay, nay. This dance is a graveyard smash and a lot of creatures are doing it, but what is this dance? Me personally, I've done a lot of research and I can't find it out. I just see a lot of millennial moms doing little dances on YouTube and saying that this is the choreography of the Monster Mash, but it is not. You're making up dances for like explanatory things for the song. That's not the dance. They can't hit the dance that is based on the song because the song wasn't written until after they did the dance, because the song is about them doing the dance. Me personally, I think it's something like this. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode. I think the only interesting thing about this one leans more into my Hotel Transylvania theory. It talks about the master bedroom where the vampires feast. There would be no feasting unless vampires just typically show up at the castle. There wouldn't be a specific bedroom where the vampires feast unless it was set up by this Dr. Frankenstein type character. Could the singer of this song be inviting people over to his house just so the vampires can kill them and feast on their blood? Possibly. We don't know. But then the next line is interesting because it says, the ghouls all came from their humble abode. So like, is it a hotel? Are they down the street? Did they all come from like their houses? Because abode means house. My baseline theory for the Monster Mash is that there is a Hotel Transylvania type thing going on here. But I don't know. The ghouls are coming from their humble abode. So who's really to say what the ghouls are doing? I don't know. The chorus is the same the next time it shows up, but instead it says, they did the mash, because it's talking about the vampires and the ghouls, which is then solidifying that the Monster Mash is a dance in the song. And then that brings us to the bridge. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. So here we are introduced to some of the ghouls that came from their humble abodes. The first one being zombies, which do zombies have houses in this universe? I guess they do. Or could they just be talking about a graveyard? I don't know. This next line confirms that it is in fact a party, which I was talking about earlier. And in the first verse, it says something about "to my surprise." So is this a surprise party for the singer of this song? Who's to say, really? I don't know. I think so. It could be a surprise party at this giant castle where all the vampires and ghouls and goblins live. Wolfman is another one of these ghouls that shows up. And then we get a really interesting one. We have Dracula and his son. And I know what you might be thinking. What the hell? What the helly? What the helly Bron James? What the helly Barry? Dracula has a son? I didn't know that. Well, I guess this line is in reference to the 1943 film, The Son of Dracula. I've never seen it. I looked it up for this video, and that's pretty much it. That's just what it's a reference to, I guess. There was evidence right there that Dracula's son has existed. So I guess that's what this is referencing. I think the more interesting thing about Dracula having a son is like, what wife did he have his son with? And why are we saying his son and not one of his sons? Has Dracula only had a son with one of the brides of Dracula? That's a little weird. One slipped through the cracks, Drac? What's the deal? The scene was rocking. All were digging the sounds. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt-Kicker 5. So now we're getting in some real life territory. At first, it's just Igor and his baying hounds playing the Monster Mash. So is there a song called the Monster Mash inside of the Monster Mash? I think it's like somewhat of a circle where there's a dance called the Monster Mash inside of the world of the Monster Mash, and then there's a song called the Monster Mash about the Monster Mash, but we are listening to a recapping of the events, which is a different song outside of the world of the Monster Mash. I think it's like it's a circle, like it's like we're in, like it keeps expanding, and then you expand a little more, and then you get Earth. But the interesting thing about the Crypt-Kicker 5 is that they are the ones accompanying the singer of this song in the real life song. So like, are they gonna play this song when they show up after Igor's done playing with his baying hounds? Also, who are the coffin bangers? Is that a nickname for the Crypt Keepers 5? Is that just another word for like drummers? But I think the solidified theory is that these guys existed in the world of the Monster Mash, and they've brought a new song into the real world, which is the Monster Mash that we know and love. Because why would they be singing about the events that were taking place right there? This is a recap of the events. There is a song called the Monster Mash inside of the Monster Mash about the dance, the Monster Mash. And the fact that the Crypt Keeper 5 are playing it is only solidified in the next chorus, which says they played the Monster Mash. Out from his coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to the Transylvania twist?" This is interesting for two reasons, because for my assumption, I thought Drac was a part of, like, he was dancing along with everybody else with his son. But it seems in this verse, he was sitting back in his coffin. Wasn't really doing much. He was kind of just chilling, and he was kind of actually being a jerk, not wanting to dance to the Monster Mash because this guy's so obsessed with the Transylvania twist, which, by the way, is another song from this album. And if you listen to it, it's not that good. It's a sequel to the Monster Mash. And the singer of this song reprises his role in that song, and he's telling him how good the Transylvania twist is. Stop trying to make the Transylvania twist happen, dude. It's not gonna happen, because it's now the Monster Mash, and it's a graveyard smash. It's caught on in a flash. It's now the Monster Mash. Okay, Drac? Now everything's cool. Drac's a part of the band, and my Monster Mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent you. So Drac has gone from hating the Monster Mash to being on stage inside of the band, the Crypt Keepers 5. And of course, Igor and his baying hounds. Didn't take a lot of convincing there, Drac. You made a big deal. You had a whole verse to yourself just being upset that the Monster Mash has replaced your favorite, the Transylvania twist, but now you're in the band. What a hypocrite. But now the last two lines are pretty interesting because it's telling us to take action and go to this party that they're throwing. And I guess that's the only way you can actually listen to the real Monster Mash, the one that's inside of this song's universe. And when you get to the door, you have to say Boris sent you. Usually whenever people say tell them whoever sent you, it's them saying like tell the people that I sent you. If I say, hey, go watch the Poo Dog 3 movie and tell them Emil sent you, then I would be saying, you know, that I sent you to go watch the Poo Dog 3 movie. So in this instance, we find out that the actual singer in our world is taking on the role of Dr. Frankenstein. The narrator that we have been listening to this entire time is also in the world of the Monster Mash and has lived through it. This Dr. Frankenstein stand-in is Bobby Boris Pickett. Absolute cinema. But that's pretty much the Monster Mash. It goes off into a little outro and they do the chorus again, which is saying that we can do the Monster Mash. So I guess now we are invited into the world of the Monster Mash. The lore would make a lot more sense if this wasn't a recounting of a bunch of events and it could just be a song that was happening. Because then there wouldn't be the whole meta-ness of it being like in our world and then it's a song in their world and it's a dance in their world. And we don't know the dance. They gatekeep the dance because they want us going to this actual castle party. I mean, of course, I have my theories about what the dance is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the Monster Mash. I hope you guys enjoyed this random lore breakdown of the Monster Mash. I had to think of a video this week because I just worked like a month on that long Muppet video. Go check that out if you haven't already, or go check out some of my other Halloween specials if you're in the Halloween mood this October 31st. Like and subscribe if you liked all of this, because I'm actually trying to grow this YouTube channel. Also, I've announced this on some of my other platforms, but I am trying to fund currently a very complicated short film that I'm making about this child actor who's in a smoothie commercial and keeps obsessing over this time because he can't really get a job after that. And he ends up going into the actual world of the smoothie commercial, and the smoothie is called Kooltopia. I have a GoFundMe if you're interested in learning more about that, or donating to the cause, or sharing it to any of your friends who are interested in maybe donating. So I have a link in the description right there. Another plug in the description is I started a brand new networking Discord for all indie filmmakers or just artists in general. You can share your work, make connections, and have a good time because I'm trying to do weekly events in that server. But yeah, if you watched this far, like I already said, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys pretty soon. Happy Halloween, and I guess till next year, I go crazy with another Halloween special.